Hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Gabe, and I wanted to chat with you about a little game I've been playing called Super Mario 3D World. I wanted to give you my impressions, my review, whatever you want to call it, and just let you know what I think about it. So, I will say that this is going to be a review of Super Mario 3D World and not Bowser's Fury. I haven't had a chance to play Bowser's Fury yet because I've been working on getting every single collectible in Super Mario 3D World. I never had a chance to play it on Wii U, so this is my first chance to get to dive in and really play it. And so the review for Bowser's Fury will be coming. If you're here for that, stick around. You might actually enjoy what's coming next, but if you really want to just see the Bowser's Fury one, that'll be coming probably in 2 or 3 weeks. So stick tight. So I got this game on February 12th. I was lucky enough to be able to go in and grab one from Target that day. And I've played about between 15 and 20 hours. The Switch doesn't give you an exact time on what you played, but between 15 and 20 hours is how long I've been able to play this game. And I am like 3 or 4 levels short of completing it. So I would say this game, you can probably imagine getting about 20 hours worth of content on Super Mario 3D World alone, and know that I have gone and gotten every single star, stamp, collectible, what have you in this game. I have made sure, because I am a big collector, not only with physical things like my amiibos, but in-game, I love to collect stuff and get that full roster. So, so 20 hours, and that is what I've got so far. Now, there are several things about this game which I really appreciate, and several things about this game that I wish were a little better. Let's start with the positive. The first thing that I really did like about the game was the sheer level design. The level design in this game is amazing. They did a really good job and they put in a ton of work. You can absolutely tell that as you're playing the game. The colors are phenomenal. I love how Nintendo uses primary colors. It kind of gives it that almost like childy art school kind of feel to it, while also having this extremely polished Nintendo seal on it. It's really well done, and I love just looking at it. I love exploring the levels, and honestly, a lot of the times I will just simply explore and look around the levels rather than completing the levels. I've run out several times. I've run out of time several times. Just exploring the level, looking at what they have to add, looking at how they construct it and the way they build it. It's really, really fun to do that. Not the best for your life count, but it's worth it. I also really love the attention to detail that they add, because there are certain points, there's one level in particular where you're able to climb up, and I was able to do this. You basically climb up this mountain, okay? And you're not necessarily supposed to be able to do that, because the way that Cat Mario works is he climbs and climbs and climbs, and then he gets tired and he slides back down. But you're able to, in this one level, kind of bounce off and kind of shoot yourself and all sorts of things. And you're able to get up to this tippy top of a mountain. And when you do that, it kind of feels like you're breaking the game, like you're breaking the boundaries of the game. And so I was able to do that, and I found that little secret out, and I was walking along, and I walked all the way back to the start on this mountain. Well, when I got there, I wasn't really expecting anything. I was thinking, oh, maybe, this is not a game-breaking bug, but it's like a little, it's a boundary, that I'm exploiting. They thought of that, because at the very end of that mountain, there were 3 1-up mushrooms right there that if you made it all the way back, they were rewarding you. And that was such a nice feeling, that attention to detail of like, this is not something that you have to do. This is not for a star or a stamp or like a main collectible. This is simply purely for people who want to explore these levels and find little Easter eggs. So that was a really cool Easter egg that I personally loved finding, because it meant that they showed. It meant they cared enough to put it there for people to find, like me, and I really liked that. Let's see, what else? Let's talk about something that I wasn't a huge fan of. I wasn't a huge fan of jumping off the edge 1,000 times at the beginning. At the beginning, the controls were not very intuitive. I found myself oftentimes jumping right off the edge of the world. Okay, well, I'll try it again. Da-da-da, and off again. Now, I found something, as I was reading about the game and whatnot, I found something that said if you follow Mario's shadow on the ground, it makes it a lot easier to land where you want. Well, that only works, I've found, if he's close enough to the ground, and by the time he's close enough to the ground to see his shadow, it's already too late. So, I didn't find that too helpful. Perhaps you will, but I found just continuing to play is what made me get better and less likely to jump off the edge of the map. So I want to put a caveat in here, though. If you are concerned that that might be a deterrent for you, let's say you are a parent who wants to play this with their young child, or you are, like me, and I want to play it with my parents who are a little bit older, and, my dad doesn't play video games, he plays Pac-Man with me, but he doesn't play this kind of stuff. It's okay. You will most likely, I can't promise, but you will most likely be okay with that, because after a few times of jumping off the edge, you kind of get used to it. You kind of get it in your muscle memory, and you're like, okay, this is where I need to look. This is how hard to press this button to jump, and these are kind of the mechanics of the game. So don't let it hold you back. A few minutes of frustration may provide 20 hours worth of a lot of fun, and that's something that this game really excels at, is playing with other people. You get a lot of fun playing with other people because there's such a wide landscape. You can have 2 to 4 people playing and running around and doing a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. In the previous ones, like Super Mario Bros. Wii, the red case one, well, that one was two-dimensional, and oftentimes one person could run ahead, and the person in the back would, have to bubble up or would die because they'd be pushed off the edge or whatever. This one is less like that. I mean, it still can happen, but it's less likely. It's more team-based, and that is especially nice for people who need a slightly slower gameplay. Let's talk about another thing that I had a lot of fun with. All of the characters. So in this game, you can play as Mario, you can play as Luigi, Peach, and Toad, and then there's a 5th separate secret character that you're able to play as once you beat the game. I'm not going to reveal who that is, but I loved playing as them. Easily my favorite character, and I hope to see more of this character in games like this, whether it's a 2D Mario, kind of like the new Super Mario Bros. Series, or in a 3D aspect, because this is the first time, to my knowledge, that we've seen this character in a game like this. They controlled beautifully, super responsive, and they also had this really cool move where they can spin, and they knock out enemies, sort of like Mario's Tanuki suit. Absolutely had a blast with this character. Great character design, great translation from another game. Just so happy with it. Mario is also great. He's responsive. It's Mario. He's what you're getting. Peach is phenomenal. She's got a float ability that you can use. That one's great for Julianne. She loves that kind of stuff. Toad is also fantastic. Little tiny Toad man. He's if you played this, you know what you're gonna get. Now Luigi, on the other hand, he's bad. Luigi, the biggest gripe that I have about Luigi is that Luigi is the guy who runs an extra 2 miles after the marathon is over. So I say stop here, and he just keeps on running to the edge and falls off. And that's not ideal when you're playing certain levels. You might say, why don't you just switch? Why not play a different character? Well, Nintendo did this thing where they make you play certain characters on certain levels in order to get all the collectibles. So there's a little button that says only Toad can push this, or only Luigi can push this. So you have to jump on that button as that character, and then you get the star, you get the stamp. Something we need to talk about, though, is one level. One level was the bane of my existence. It is beautiful. The level itself is gorgeous. The music is fantastic. But one of the mechanics is so bad. I'm going for a walk. I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about some more positive stuff, though. I love the power-ups in this game. In previous games, you might see a lot of power-ups. This one has one, maybe two chances per level to get that power-up, so they are not holding your hand with it. It's really nice, it's a good challenge, and it makes the game more fun. I also love the variety that they have. You've got your staples like the Fire Flower, you've got the Tanuki suit, you've got that kind of stuff, things we've seen before. But you have two new ones in this one, and that is the Cat Bell, which turns yourself into a cat, and you also have the Double Cherry, which makes clones of yourself. So you actually control 2, 3, 4, 5 Marios at a time, and it is so cool. Cat Mario is just a lot of fun. You've got a cool flip ability where you can knock out enemies and do things like that. And then there is the Double Cherry, and the Double Cherry is so much fun because it is just pure chaos. It is chaos trying to control 5 different Marios, and oftentimes they will reward you at the end of the level. Say, you need 5 Marios to stand on this platform in order for it to raise up and for you to get that last star, or that last or the only stamp, I should say. It's a weird, I don't even know what to say about it. It's a weird ability, but it's a lot of fun, pure chaos, and you will definitely get a big kick out of it, especially if you have multiple people playing and you've got multiples of multiples running around. Definitely a big win. Also, the level design that's based around the Double Cherries are so ingenious. I really like them, and they definitely push the limits as to what you can do with that. With the walls, with moving platforms, with all sorts of stuff, with jumps and enemies. They really push the boundaries, and that's another thing that I enjoyed about the game. So what's my final verdict? I would say that this was a fantastic game, and I really enjoyed my time playing it. Whether you're going to play it single player, whether you're going to play it with friends and family, I bet you will enjoy your time with it as well. You can get probably 20 hours out of it, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how hard you push yourself. But either way, I think it's a good entry into the Switch's library. I'm happy that I got to play it finally, and that's all I have to say about that. So please, let me know what you think. Is this a good game for you? Did you get to play it with your friends and family? How did you experience this game? Let me know, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. Have an awesome rest of your day, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.